Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the PL-300 exam preparation series where we are looking at the second learning path, model the data. In this video, we are going to explore the topic use basic statistical functions, which is part of the section create model calculations by using DAX. So now we are going to have a look at a few other functions which belong to the same aggregation function category, but here these are referred to as the statistical functions. So let's go to dax.guide and see what are those functions. So here I am on the dax.guide website, and here you can see that they have made several categories. So here one category that you see is the statistical functions. Let's go and explore this particular category. So this category has a lot of functions which are purely related to the statistical functionality, the functionality of statistics inside of Power BI. But these functions are very special functions, and you are going to hardly see any question related to these functions on the exam. So what you are going to most probably see is something which is a part of the aggregation functions, and this is the family of aggregation functions that do not operate on a single column, but they achieve the same result. So you will have average x, count x, max x, and all these others. So all the functions that have an x at the end, these are the functions that we are going to have a look in this video, and these functions are called as iterator functions. Well, let's have a look at these functions in detail and see why these functions are called as the iterator functions. So here you can see that we have the SUMX function, which is one of the most common iterator functions, and the description here says that it returns the sum of an expression evaluated for each row in a table, and this is the general syntax for the SUMX function. So you have the SUMX function, then you have to pass a table, and then you have to pass an expression. So if you compare this with the sum function, the sum function actually does the same thing, but the only limitation with the sum function is that it only operates on a given column, and that column has to be a physical column in a table. But here we have much more flexibility that we can pass a table. So the first thing to notice here is that we can pass a table. So we are going to have a look at table functions in another video, but here we are going to just limit our discussion to some of the physical tables that are already there in the data model. And the other part which is of a great importance here is the expression. So expression here refers to any calculation that we can make using the DAX language. So this kind of functionality was not available for a sum expression because sum only required you to pass a physical column, just one column. So you could not do anything else with that column. But here you can also pass an expression. You can actually build a formula inside this function. So this is the SUMX function, and similar to sum, we have for all the single column aggregation functions, we have equivalent iterator functions. So we have count x, average x, max x, min x, and then we have a few others like rank x, concatenate x, which we are going to explore in one of the later videos. So I am back in the Power BI desktop environment, and I'm having a look at the sum function. So here you can see that in the sum function, I have passed the quantity column from the transactions data table. So if I want to build an expression here, I cannot do that because this is the requirement of the sum function that I have to just pass the name of the column. So now let's see what we can do or what we can achieve using the SUMX function. So I have created a measure here, which I am saying is total quantity 10x, and what I'm trying to achieve inside this measure is that I want to multiply the value of each quantity with 10, and then I want to do the sum over the quantity column. So I want to multiply each individual record with 10, and then I want to compute the overall sum for the column. So how can I do that? So I simply want to actually multiply the quantity column with 10, and this is the thing that I want to do. But remember that we cannot build an expression inside the sum function because we only have to pass the name of the column there. So this is the name of the column. I cannot do this part. I cannot make a formula. I cannot make any mathematical computation. So this I have achieved using the SUMX function. So what I have done here is that the first I have passed the name of the table, which is the transactions data. Then I have built an expression, which is I have multiplied quantity with 10. So this is the measure that I have developed using the SUMX function. So let's go to the data view or the table view and see how in the background this function is actually working. So I'm here in the transaction data table, and here you can see that I have this quantity column. So what I am trying to do is that I am trying to multiply this first row with 10. Then I am going to repeat this process for all the other records or rows in this column. So how this function is actually working? So how this function is working is that it is working on a row by row basis. So in the first row, this is the first row. So in this row, this is going to come here and compute this expression. And then it saves the result of this expression somewhere in the memory. So you have a result of the expression somewhere saved in the memory. Then the same process is repeated for the second one. And this is also saved somewhere in the memory. And this process is repeated for all the records in this particular column. And once you have all these values saved in memory, then at the end, the Power BI function, it aggregates all these values. So it performs a sum calculation on all these values and comes out with a result. And now let's go and see what is this final result. So I can go back into the report view and I can just drag this total quantity value into the field here, into the value field here, and here you can see that the result that I am getting is the result which is simply the 10x result of the total quantity. So the point of highlighting these iterator functions is that you can actually achieve the expressions. You can actually build expressions using these iterator functions. That is the first thing. The other important thing is that the row by row computation concept that I explained, that for every record it goes and performs up the expression, calculates the expression. This is a very important concept in DAX, and this row by row computation is called as the row context. So there are two contexts. The first one is the row context. The other one is the filter context that we are going to explore in the next video, hopefully. So just remember that whenever you are going to read about row context, it means row by row computation. So by using this family of functions, by using SUMX, by using AverageX, by using CountX, by using MinX, MaxX, and some of the others, we can actually build calculations, we can actually build expressions, and we can actually improve our analysis. The limitation with the single measure aggregators is that they just operate on one column. So now quickly we are going to look at one other example where we are going to explore something that is the essence of this particular analysis, and that is that we are going to use this particular quantity column here, by multiplying this quantity column with the price information or the cost information. So remember, we have a products table, and in the product table we have a product ID, and every product has a product name. And in front of the product information we have two fields. One is the product retail price and one is the product cost. So basically what it means that this particular product, which is Washington cream soda, the product cost was 1.64. that then this particular product was sold at a retail price of 3.64. So for unit level cost, this is the information that you have. So we have the quantity information in the transactional data. So every product has a product ID here and a quantity here. So what we are trying to achieve is that we are going to see that for this particular table, how much was the total cost incurred for all the transactions. So we are going to have a look at the iterator functions, that how we can use the iterator functions and build a calculation which actually combines data or combines information from multiple tables, and we are trying to build an expression. So here you can see that I have built a DAX measure by the name of total cost. Here it is the name of the measure, total cost, and I have built this DAX formula using the SUMX function. So let's now try to understand what actually has been done. So total cost is the name of the measure. Then the function that has been used is the iterator function SUMX. Then we have passed the name of the table, which is transaction data, where the quantity information is sitting. Then this is the part where we have actually built the expression. So you are going to see something which is a bit different here, but I'm going to explain what I have done here. So I know that for every transaction, I need the transaction data quantity, which is inside the transaction data table, and then I need to multiply it with the product cost. And this has to be done for all the records in the transaction data table. And once all the records have been multiplied with the product cost, with the respective product cost, which is actually based on, if I go back in the table view here, so this is the quantity column. So this particular quantity is being multiplied with the product cost. So we have the product ID here. So we have the product ID for this product 721, product ID 721 inside the product table. So it is going to take the quantity value here, and then it is going to get the value of the product cost from the product table, which corresponds to this 721 value, and we are going to have some result. So this is going to be the first calculation. Then for the second row, it is going to take this 3 value, and then it is going to multiply with this 3 value with the product cost associated with this particular ID. And then we are going to have another value, and this process is going to be repeated for all the records. And once these computations have been done, then there is going to be a aggregation, which is the sum aggregation, that will be applied on all the results. But in the formula, you are seeing something which we haven't seen as yet, and that is this thing. Sorry, this is not this thing, which is this related function. So what is this related function? So once you are trying to, let me go back to the table view. So once you are trying to build an expression that has one value or one column information in this particular table, but the other column is not sitting inside this transaction table, it is sitting inside the products table. So we have the products table here. So if you are sitting in a table that is on the many side of your relationship. So let me go back to the model view. So here you can see that here is the transactions data table. So in the transactions data table, you can see that this is a fact table and it is on the many side of the relationship. So this relationship here is between the products table and the transactions data table. So if you are sitting inside the transactions data table and trying to fetch something from the one side, which is the product side, then you need to use a function which is the related function. So we are going to actually have a look at the related and another function which is part of this family of functions in one of the later videos. But just remember that this related function works with the many side, and it allows you to fetch a value, which in our case is the product cost from the one side. And that is what is happening in this particular formula, which we have built for total cost, that this related function is bringing in the value of product cost. So this is how the value of total cost has been computed. So now let's see what are the results for this particular function. So if I just delete this and I bring this total I bring this total cost in the values, then you are going to see the result shown here, which is the total cost incurred for all the transactions. and this we have built using the SumX function. So you can use all these functions in the family, SumX, CountX, AverageX, to compute these kind of results. And this is what we have looked at as the iterator function. So remember that the iterator function is working on a row by row basis, which is called as the row context. So this was a long video, but it was important to explain what are the iterator functions, and we had a look at the other part of the aggregator family. We had a look at the single column aggregators. Now we had a look at the aggregators, but they are in the form of iterators. So that's all for this video, and I will see you in the next one.